First off, just welcome and thank you for having us here. You guys, as predicted, it would be excellent. It's been outstanding here. So it's been a good journey. Our guys are excited about season 3. You go through the whole year. I think you turn back the page to June, and the guys grind and work and earn, and they've done their part on that side. And as fortune's had it, we've been put ourselves in this spot. So we're excited about the competition ahead of us. The region's tough, and we just want to get going. It's been a long one.
Appreciate that, Coach. With that, we'll open up to questions for both Adam and or Zach this time. Kicking off with Scott.
Scott Strandy College, Hockey Coast to Coast. Adam, you and I have talked a number of different times this year, but how's this team coming together right now? I've watched you win big games, scoring a lot of goals. I've watched you win games in close 2-1 games. How do you feel right now?
We feel great, but like you said, when we win games, we get confidence, and that I think that stems back all the way to June. We put the time in and we put the work in, and that kind of through all those hard times, even like a hard loss like back in January, unfortunately, that kind of brings us together and makes us a tighter group than usual. And right now, we're all super excited and super pumped to get this thing going.
Zach, for you, you've gotten the goal scoring knack lately. What's it been like, and what's it like to play with this group of offensive players?
Yeah, no, it's special every night we step on the ice. Like you say, I've been fortunate enough to find the net lately, but that's not due to, my doing. That's due to the guys on the ice with me. They're making the plays. I'm just lucky enough to put them back in the net. So, yeah, those guys, they make the game a lot easier.
Scott Nelson, MSU Athletics. Zach and Adam, for both of you, the guy next to you and Coach of the Year this year, just talk about Coach Strand and how the program's been going in his second year.
You can just, his achievements are off the chart. You see what kind of coach he is, but we see him on a more personal level. He's 1,000 times better human being than he is a coach, and that's saying something. So, being able to play underneath him and for him, all the guys are bought into what he's saying, and we all believe in everything that he's teaching us, and there's no one else I'd rather have leading us into this.
And just to piggyback off what Zach said, he kind of nailed it right on the head, but he preaches love, and you can really feel that throughout everything. I know I make my fair share of mistakes, but he's going to be there for me, and he's going to pat me on the back, tell me what else to do, but then he's going to be like, keep trying what you do, and it just makes me a better hockey player and a better person overall, and I couldn't be more thankful.
You talk about mistakes. You got a guy behind you to help clean up a lot of them. Talk a little bit about 33's game right now.
He's unbelievable. That's the only word to describe him right now. He's at the top of his game, and it's just extremely fun to play in front, and it's better to watch. That kid's an absolute stud, and just to be a friend of his is even better. He's always the best person to everyone, to every single person around him, so it's unbelievable to be just a teammate and a friend of his.
It's crazy to look at. You look at all the trophies he's up for, and the crazy thing to see is that he's getting better every day, both as a person and as an athlete. And when we have him back there, we have full faith in him that he's going to get the job done for us. So I like to use the term safety net, but at the end of the day, he is that. He's the guy that we can go to no matter what, and we know that he's going to have our backs, and we'll love his.
Matt Dean with KTOE Radio. For both of you guys are playing really well right now, in a good hot stretch, 11 games since your last loss. Is there any particular moment or game or period or something that stands out? You guys have played well all year, but where you've really seemed to turn it up a notch and take it to another level that stands out here down the stretch?
For me, looking back, it would just be that loss to Ferris. That Friday night loss, 2-0. Came back and potted 7 the next game, and I think we needed that. It was a good wake-up call to the guys, especially for me being an older guy, this is our last chance, and going through that, and just kind of that adversity we had to face. I think it brought us closer together, and it forced us to kind of play to our identity. And we realized that the way that we're going to be successful is doing that. We can't stray away from who we are, because for Western Michigan, they're a skilled team, but we're going to have to play to the best version of ourselves when it comes around to tomorrow night.
He stole my answer. You're nailing all of them. But no, I would say after that would be winning the McNaughton. I know that's kind of maybe not the smartest thing to say, but when we won that thing, we kind of all looked around the room wow, we really could do this. We were really confident before, but knowing we could do it in that style and then going out and doing what we did the next, 8 games, it's just gives a lot of confidence in the group and a little bit of swagger, which is fun to see out of some guys.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on the Coach of the Year honor. I know you'll look back at that at some time and be very happy about it, but I also know that you're motivated on getting this team where they need to go. What's it going to take to get past the Western Michigan team?
I think the guys kind of they did their part there. We've got an identity we have to keep. We know our opponent. We respect the opponent. There's going to be no eye batting at that side of it. But when our guys bring just huge team value as individuals, we play the right way. You're going to have to play an honest game against them because it doesn't take much. They're dangerous. So we got to be good on that side of things. But I just, the way they stay together, our guys, the confidence they have, the highs, the lows, there is really no high ground. There is really no low ground. And that's what it's going to take. It's this time of year. No one's going to play a perfect game. So you got to do your part to make sure we stay as even as we can.
Watching you guys practice and watching you guys play games, there's a fine line between fun and precision, shall we say. How do you draw that line?
I might have more fun than they do at practice. I enjoy practice. It is there for me. A practice it should be messy. It should be experimental. The guy's going to fail in practice. For me, the idea is you're trying to fail there so you don't fail under the lights and the scoreboard. This time of year, it's for our guys to be having that much fun at practice. It says a lot about the guys. This time of year, you often get with teams that aren't overly interested in practice, but they go out there, they get after each other, they're accountable to each other, they compete against each other hard. It's hard to practice soft and play hard, so that's the line I worry about crossing the most, actually. The fun meter it involves winning, so we compete a lot.
Let's go down to Randy.
Randy Johnson, Minnesota Star Tribune. Luke, was there a point this season or off season even where you felt you had a team that could accomplish what you have this year?
It's a really good question. When the guys come in the summer and they spill sweat and they do their part, that part for it is exciting. We get to have a different lens because at that time of year you're not with them as a coach. You're counting on your strength coach and you're scouting, counting on those people. It's funny because Don's here, but he asked me the question earlier in the fall, like, what do you think of your team? And my comment was, I kind of think we can be sneaky good. And I just think that the guys, just the way they take care of each other, it wasn't a puck drop. It wasn't anything at that point. So, and then I do believe the non-conference was difficult, and it was supposed to be, and it was meant to be, and we stubbed our toe a little bit. Like, no one wanted to sweep more than I did in Michigan. No one wanted to lose the night one of Nodak, getting a 5-minute major, that type of thing. So I thought we did some really good things before we got into our conference. And I'll say it again, I think our conference play inch for inch on the ice is really hard ice, and it does a lot for our game all season long. But so I don't know, it just built. And it's one of those things where you watch these guys together, that they're guys you want. They're going to be leaders, winners, husbands, fathers, and be stars that way.
Jacob Charis, College Hockey News. Rhett Pitlick has been the leader of your offense the entire year, and could be a chance he plays his former team. So just kind of tell me what you've seen from him throughout the year, and maybe I guess his excitement levels, if he's even thought about that.
Rhett's extremely exciting offensive player, but I would tell you I think the depth of his game has grown. There's so much electricity when he gets the puck. You sit at the edge of your seat because he's got a game-changing moment to what he brings to the table. He's done that in the past. He's got a historic value to him as far as scoring goes. But I can tell you here what's happened, the transformation for me is his care about the whole game, not just the puck. His play away from the puck, his teammate value is gone through the roof. All you heard was like, oh, he likes offense and that's all he cares about. It's the opposite. This kid is a winner. He wants to compete. He puts other people first nonstop. He probably should have 60 points if some opportunities were cashed in on along the way. So he's a real treat of a kid. And I would tell you, I think Thursday is our goal. And whoever we, fortunate enough to play next would be, he'll handle it the right way. He's a really mature kid.
Thanks, Scott.
Coach, you've had a chance to make this journey with two guys from Eau Claire that you grew up with, and Corey, who you've known for 20 years on your staff. Just talk about doing this with lifelong friends and what those guys mean to you on the staff.
Yeah, it takes a village. Super lucky. Like, you look back, first car I had was a Paulson's. My first guy to really bail me out of Wardle got me into coaching. I was already going to get into it, but he really got me into it. I got fired back in the day in the USHL, and he hired me in the American League. We already worked together in the American League. That you go through times of life like that, then that's where I think the factor of trust is so crazy high. And then Corey and I have been on the ice for a couple decades together, just with youth and improving people individually. And they're all teachers. They all come from that background. Their care about guys and players and families and what these guys are going to become outside the boards equals my value to what they believe in, besides their talents on the ice as teachers. So I don't know. The biggest part for me going back is we have 31 years of pro hockey on our staff, way less college hockey. We all come from a development model where we got to get better every day, and the grind is there's some of the most hilarious moments day to day that happen in that office that you don't want to hear about. And then there's times when I think when you get time with your athlete and what you're trying to prepare them for in life, I would revert any conversation for those guys to have. That trust is so high.
Good stuff. Anything else for Coach? One more from Scott.
Coach, I had the opportunity to come down and watch your watch party, and I really got the feel that Mankato is behind you, maybe more than ever. And I've seen some sold-out buildings. What does it feel like for you guys? I mean, I look out in the parking lot and I see that Minnesota State bus out there. You told me before it's going to be a lot of purple. Still feel that way?
Oh yeah, no, the community is unbelievable. When we go to a game, the Mayo's an unreal setting, and the fan and their care about knowledge of the game and just they bleed Minnesota State. There's no question on that part. But when we get a chance to be with them outside of the rink, impact people, spend time with youth. We do a lot of adaptive things around the community, a lot of things in schools. It's that I think equally we are as excited to serve them as they are to come out and watch us, and goes a really long ways, because I'll tell you that watch party was exciting to have that many people that you don't even recognize, because when you're coaching, you're in it. You don't see what's all around, and you miss some of the trees you're running into every day because you're in the middle of it. So it's awesome. It's a awesome community, and I'm grateful. A lot was done before we got here. We talk about that kind of like nonstop. So we're privileged to have that opportunity.